Hello, my name is Matthias Königswieser. I'm the cinematographer of Perfect.
My name is Tao Okamoto. I played Ozawa in the movie.
I'm Courtney Eaton, and I play Sarah in the film.
I'm Garrett Wareing, and I play Vessel 13 in Perfect.
I am Chris Santos, and I play Strips.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today. We've got a lot to talk about this film, but I don't want to spoil it for people.
Have you seen it?
I have.
Yes.
But it's a film you don't want to spoil for people.
Right,
No.
of course.
So-
I don't know if you can, though.
Yeah,
No, like there's so much going on.
I know.
But yes, I totally get
I'm
it.
very confused and I need to see it again.
Yeah, please. That's what we all need to see.
We're in it, and we
Yeah. It was our first time seeing it last night. So,
What was that experience like? Did you have more clarity about the film that you were in now that you've seen it?
if anything, it's more blurry, right?
Yeah.
No, seeing it with the whole crew back together, it's like we got the band back together and we all got to experience this masterpiece that we all worked on, and it evolved in the post-production world. I mean, they did VFX, they added the storyline, and to see what we had filmed and to what it is now, it changed drastically, but in the best possible way. And to see what we made and what Eddie Alcazar, the director, made from what we had, a 40-page script, was fantastic. Just to see the evolution of the whole process.
And how long ago did you film it? So what's the gap between?
Like January of last year.
Yeah, a year.
Wow.
A bit
Yeah,
more.
so about a
A
year.
few days, too.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's hard to grasp, because we shot it, 12 days or something?
We shot in 12 days, and then we had some pickup days, but it was so fast. I saw scenes in there that I totally forgot we ever filmed because we did so much in so little time.
It was also moving at such a fast pace that I think it was hard to grasp what we were actually doing, and so to sit down and be like, oh, we filmed that, oh, that got shot and cut differently. So it was interesting to see it all together. I think we're all still confused. In a good way, though.
But yeah, I think with this film, it leaves audiences wondering what's going on, and it starts a conversation. And I think the conversation is where people understand the film, begin to talk about it and think about it more. It's a movie that sits with you.
It does, and beautiful in its simplicity as well, with some of its cinematography and the effects. I was reminded of Ex Machina. I imagine that'll be a film that it's compared to. Both premiered at South by Southwest, both kind of dabbling in sci-fi without being explicitly sci-fi. So I guess tell me a little bit about what attracted everyone to the project in the first place with the 40-page treatment.
The challenge, I think. I mean, the director he knows what he wants, and he's such a visionary, and he will go to the ends of the earth to fulfill his vision with the team that he has. And the challenge of that kind of character is what truly drew me, and the visuals and the world that we live in, and the how the grid in my body when the treatments I began to carve my body. It's just like the whole world was really what I crave as an actor, just to immerse myself in something like that.
So when you were filming those scenes, did you have like dots on your face or?
So get this, like, I had never seen the VFX stuff. I had no clue what we were doing. So we had two knives. We had one that was the sharp one that I would go like close to my face with, and then we had a dull one and it was just flat. So I would do that one when it was like inside the skin, and so I would carve that one, but I had this line thing that I drew. It was a very meticulous process, but because we had to get the lines right, and then they glued on prosthetic pieces to show the scars. But they made, like, to show the inserts and that sort of thing, they made a complete copy of my face. So they did a mold, and then they filled it, and they did silicone, they painted it, did eyebrows and stuff. And so some of the shots when I'm sticking the knife and incisions and stuff, it's the fake head, but it looks so real. It's the coolest thing.
Were you even watching? Oh, don't cut yourself.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm
don't.
like, man, it was so real. It was so cool.
And what about for the rest of you? What attracted you to the project?
After I got the treatment, I kind of stalked Eddie and watched a lot of his work in just the visual way, and the way he tells stories really intrigued me, and I hadn't come across something like that, and especially with the treatment, I'd never seen anything like that, and it was, I felt like tossing a coin. It could either have gone crazy, or, I mean, it is crazy, but in the best way, so I thought I would take a chance on him, because he's a genius.
I was friends with Eddie before the film came to be, and really wanted to work with him. And we live across the street from each other, so we'd meet up and hang out and talk about stuff and wild ideas. And then he called me one day. He's like, "I got an idea. I'm going to run with it." And he did, and just asked me what type of character I'd like to play. I said, "Just knock it out there." And he delivered me back something pretty extreme and crazy. And it's like Courtney just said, it's like whenever you're going to go with someone who's pushing the envelope or a visionary guy, it's like it's a coin toss. You know, it's either going to land and it's going to hit, or people are literally going to be like, I don't even know what the hell that just was. And I think this thing like teetered on that edge, like,
but in a beautiful way, you know,
in a scary and beautiful way, where I was like, stay on the line, and like it crossed over and came back and did it so many times. But at the end, it was like watching a gymnast perform this like very extreme routine, but then stick the landing and everyone start clapping, and I was like, oh wow, we made it.
So true.
And
so true.
It was I don't think I've ever been so emotional or feel like I was almost watching a sporting event, or you know, something like it just up and down and all over the place. It was really, wow, it paid off.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because I mean, Star Wars is the classic example of it. That everyone thought that film would, including the actors, that it would just flop and wouldn't work, and you never know, indeed.
You never know.
But you introduced Stephen to the project. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I did the Girlfriend Experience. Was the lead of the Girlfriend Experience with him in 2009. And
it's been that long.
Yeah, I know,
wow.
Right? It feels like it was yesterday. I was thinking, I'm like, shouldn't even say that. It's so long ago. But it does feel like yesterday. And he's another, you know, super intelligent, awesome artist, first and foremost. Him and I have always stayed friends and kept in touch, and we'll text each other stuff here and there, little bits. And I've always been respectful of our relationship. I've never asked him to do anything or see anything, or like, hey, read this script. And after I got done with this, Eddie was like, hey man, like, I know this is a really protected relationship you have, but do you think he would respond to this?
It's time to pull the favor.
And, well, you know, here's the thing, and it's funny you say like that, and I said this to you, if you're gonna go to somebody, I didn't see it as a favor. I saw it as, let me connect you to this thing because I think it's good, and I think you're gonna see it that way. It wasn't like, oh please, sir. It was like, hey man, even the way where I was like, look, I just worked with this guy, did this film. You need to watch this thing. And I wasn't even like, hey man, please. I was like, you need to watch this. And he's like, because it's you send it to me, I'll watch it. And he did. And then 2 days later, I just got a text with one line. He said, this guy's super talented. And he was in LA like 24, 48 hours later, and they linked up. And, you know, as they say, the rest is history. But he came on to help edit and executive produce the film, which is not something I know Eddie and myself had no idea would turn out to be something like that. So it was great.
And what attracted you to the project?
So I appear in the movie quite towards to the end. I'm talking to Garrett through the intercom. And so when Eddie approached me for this project, he said, like, you're gonna be like Scarlett Johansson from the movie Her. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Let me do it. And
so mysterious.
Yeah. But like, so like he requested me to sound even more Japanese, like thicker accent. And then I don't even know what Japanese accent is like, because I learned English in England. I moved to the States 10 years ago, so my accent is really all over the place.
Spent a bit of time in Australia as well, filming.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a challenge, and I didn't get to see what they were doing, but I still needed to make a connection, right? So that was my challenge, and I was like a bit like, I don't know, I wasn't confident doing this, but then I was like, yeah, but like everyone needs to act in front of like green screens and stuff, imagining what's going on without really seeing it. So I guess like, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
After seeing it with an audience yesterday, and I'd like you to answer this as well as from being behind the lens, but what sort of experience do you hope people take away from this film, both visually and thematically?
I was hoping to abstract the visuals to a degree where people really get lost, and have it more of an experience than something that you would, now beginning, middle, and end, hero's journey, all these things you see over and over. I think this film takes you by surprise and just tears you out of the ordinary and make it a true experience. And I think it being that, hopefully it resonates after the film as much as when you watch it. So you still keep thinking about it, you have your own theories, it digs into your psyche. And you know, it raises questions of, you know, evolution and perfection, and how we all curate our lives, how we want to be, you know, perceived as something that we perhaps aren't at all, you know, and get lost in the perception, as opposed to really digging deep and celebrating who we really are. And I think there is, you know, I pulled all kinds of visual tricks to kind of like really make you forget that you're watching a film. I think it's about just being an experience in many ways.
Mm. What I was thinking of, I mean, and I imagine this is very much on purpose, but the idea of, you know, we're all phones just trying to upgrade ourselves, and you know, I just kind of, have I updated Twitter lately? You know, have I?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I was saying, you know, in the last interview, whatever, it's just I didn't see. I totally see how you can see that. I saw more of like with all of the medicines that are available today and the surgeries that are available today. I saw it more that way in terms of like, yes, upgrading, but chasing this ideal of perfection. Which, what does that even look like? You know, so like for me, although there was so much sci-fi and technology, I really was like, wow, made me like sort of really reflect like what are we all going after? And and I guess again, I said last week, if I let you go after what that looked like what would that end up being? I think that's really interesting to think about.
That's when we bring Dolly Parton into the interview.
Yeah.
There's a line in the movie that says something like, "I wanted you to be perfect, but is perfection something this world really needs?"
Yeah.
And so it's said towards the end of the movie by my mother, who's the one who sent me to this clinic, who's in the trailer. And it resonated with me because so many people are on this quest to be a better version of themselves, or to want to be someone that they're not or shouldn't have to be, because who you are is enough. And so that line was special because it's almost like, yes, you want to be that perfect person, but is perfection something that you really need? Because who you are is good enough already. You know, because you have so much history, so much to offer the world. I mean, why change that?
And speaking of Abbie Cornish, I wanted to
yes,
ask you,
another
Courtney,
Aussie.
is, you know, got a couple of great Aussies in the cast. You know, what was it like working with her? Although I don't know if you actually would have met on set.
No, most of my work was just with Garrett, and we had a few scenes that didn't end up making in the film, but I was a lot like you, and I didn't really get to see what everyone else was filming. But I met Abbie after, and we actually found out we had mutual friends, so I text her all the time.
It's a small industry, isn't it?
Really well with other
It
Aussies.
gets smaller every day.
We probably have mutual friends. We're both from Australia. We
Whatever
must.
it assumes. They're like, do you know Joe? And you're like, no, maybe.
Then you're like, oh wait, what should I do?
But yeah, so it was just, we were buddies for the whole
We had
film.
a great time. It was great work with Courtney. But like, so Abbie, I got to work with her the majority of the time, but
sometimes through an intercom.
these, right? No, of course. No, but these Australians, they're amazing. I mean, I love them all. So I mean, Abbie, Courtney, everybody. It's just been a great cast. So.
Well, I hope everyone gets a chance to see the film, and thank you so much for all your time today.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.